Hey guys, I'm doing well today. So in today's video, we'll be talking the All Blacks versus Fiji. Of course, this is the third and final game that the All Blacks are playing within their July series test against the Pacific Nations. So it's going to be a very fun watch, obviously, to see this game. Of course, New Zealand, you could say, were pretty dominant within the last game against Fiji, winning 57 points to 23. But Fiji were actually very impressive throughout the whole game and really, held their own. So it's one of those which I'm very, I'm looking forward to actually see how Fiji do within this game. But of course, this game's to be played within FMG Stadium within Waikato in Hamilton, so of course the All Blacks will have home advantage once again. But it's one of those ones, I think, well, Fiji, like I said, they were very dominant within that last game in Dunedin, so hopefully they can bring their A game within Hamilton. So of course, we'll go over the lineups now. So of course, here is the All Blacks starting lineups. I'll run it by you guys, tell you what I think about them, and after this, I'll go over the Fiji starting lineup, and then after that, I will give my prediction for the game. So, of course, with the All Blacks lineups, they have gone with the likes of George Barrett at number 1, as well as Cody Taylor number 2, and, of course, Nipalalala at number 3. So, I'd say it's a decent front row, to say the least. I mean, it's not what I would have gone for, but at the same time, I understand that they're doing a lot of rotations within this series. So, I like how they're going with Bauer as well as Nipalalala. I think it's a really solid combination, to say the least. In my opinion, I actually think it's the second best combination they can go with, in my opinion, because they can go with the likes of Carlton Wafe as well as Offatung Mafasi. I think that's probably the best duo they can go with. So I like how they're giving more game time, you could say, to Bauer and Nipalalala, because of course it's good to see them, kind of step up in their game. Of course, with the hooker, they have gone with the likes of Cody Taylor ahead of Dan Cole. So it's you could say it's kind of surprising, because obviously Dan Cole was brilliant last game, obviously getting 4 tries to his name. But at the same time, I believe Cody Taylor is still the number 1 hooker for New Zealand, so I can understand why they've gone with him within that position. Of course, with the locks, they have gone with the likes of Scott Barrett as well as Sam Whitelock, who, of course, is the captain for the side. Again, I'm not really too surprised about that. I mean, it's a very good side, to say the least. I mean, it's a good lock pairings, and obviously they have played a lot together for the Crusaders, so yeah, definitely going to be not going to be really a struggle for them too within this game, to be perfectly honest. Of course, for the loose forward pack they have gone with the likes of Akira Leone at 6. We do have the return of Artis Sevilla at 7, and of course they've gone with Luke Jacobson at 8. So a very interesting selection there, of course, from that loose forward pack. Akira Leone, I'd say, is probably the most expected one to start. I mean, he was one of those where Shana Vizell is still a bit injured, and obviously within the last game, I wouldn't say he was at his A game in particular, so I can definitely see why they brought in Akira within this game. Of course, having Artis Sevilla back is a huge thing for the All Blacks, and he's one of the best loose forwards in the world, so I can understand why, obviously, he's been selected within this test. And of course, they're going with the likes of Luke Jacobson ahead of Hoskins Tutu, which I can definitely see why you've gone with that, because Tutu does need rest, and Jacobson has been brilliant within all 3, within both tests so far. So I can definitely see why he's been included within this one for sure. Of course, within the back line, they have gone with the likes of Aaron Smith as well as Richard Monga as their 9-10 combination. So again, kind of usual and expected in that sense. With the centre pairings, they have gone with the likes of David Havili as well as Anton Brown. So of course, Anton Brown is coming back from injury, so another player like Artis Sevilla who's coming back into the side, which is great to see. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Havili and Anton Brown play, because if I'm not mistaken, this will be the first time they actually play together. So, and in my eyes, that is the best centre combination that the All Blacks have, so it'll be very interesting to see how those two get along. Of course, with the wingers, you have gone with the likes of Sever Reese at 11, as well as Will Jordan at 14. So again, another Crusaders combo from this All Black lineup. I mean, Will Jordan has just been brilliant for the All Blacks since he's obviously within this series in particular, and of course, Sever Reese is just a brilliant winger. So I can definitely see why he's been shifted towards that 11 spot, because you want to give George Bridge a bit of rest after starting both the last 2 games. Of course, the last player with that number 15 spot, they have got the likes of Damien McKenzie. Again, I can definitely see why they've gone with him. A bit of rotation, obviously going in for Jody Barrett from last week's game. But yeah, very excited to see what those two with McKenzie and Will Jordan can do, because I think that combo there with Jordan and McKenzie is really lethal, and I think they can really damage this Fiji side a lot with them too. But yeah, of course, that's kind of it with the New Zealand side. Of course, that's kind of it with the All Blacks. So anyway, we'll move on to the Fijian side. So of course, here is the Fiji side we'll run by, and of course, I'll run it by with you guys. So of course, with that number 1 position, they have gone with the likes of Wallabies, as well as number 2, they're going with Matavesi. So again, he's a very good hooker in my opinion. He really stood out for me, I'd say, within the last one, and of course they've gone the likes of Dodge at number 3. So I wouldn't say it's as good as a front row, of course, compared to the All Blacks, but at the same time I do think they'll bring a lot of a good challenge, you could say, towards this All Blacks side. Of course, with the lock pairing, I'd say this is probably their best area, in my opinion, within that. Was it their best area? No, I'd say the loose forwards is, but still a strong area within the lock pairing. Obviously, they have gone with the likes of Maya Nua. No, is it Maya? Sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's Maya Nua. There you go. And he's a great lock, actually. He really stood out, actually, for the Fijians within that last game. So very excited to see how he goes along within this one. Of course, you do have the captain, of course, with Nakawara within this game. So going to be very excited, of course, to see him as well play within the lock position. So yeah, that's going to be a good battle. I'd say probably the key battle from the game, obviously, within the locks. Of course, for the loose forward trio, they had gone with Dreyer again at 6, and he was impressive, to say the least, within the last one. So hopefully he can continue his form. At 7, they go with the likes of, Kulavali. So again, another great player who obviously stand out within that game. And of course, they go with Yatu at 8. So yeah, another great player who's obviously stood out, and hopefully that loose forward trio should be able to compete with the All Black trio for sure. Of course, moving on to the back line for the Fijians at number 9. You do have the likes of Frank Lomali, obviously coming back into the side for the first time. Obviously, he was not able to play within the last game, obviously due to COVID restrictions and all that. But it's good to see him obviously being included. He's a great player actually. Obviously, I'm not going to say he's stood out, but he's done pretty well within Super AAU. So it's good to see him obviously getting involved. And of course, you do have the likes of Ben Volavola, obviously at that 10 spot. So again, another great player. I wouldn't say he had his best game in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people judged him off his kicking within the last game. But to be perfectly honest, I actually thought he did pretty well within his lingo play. So hopefully he can kind of continue that. But overall, pretty happy to see that combo of 9 and 10. Also with the centers, you have going with the likes of Burley Rura. So he's a great number 12 there. And of course, you have going with the likes of at 13. You go with the likes of Naya Kaleavu. So he's a great. I think it's a good center duo there. I wouldn't say it's the best they could have gone with. I think there's other players they could have gone with, but at the same time, still should do the job and probably hurt the All Blacks in that area for sure. Of course, with the wingers, you do have the likes of Nandalo. Of course, he's brilliant. Of course, he is aging, but still pretty good. So I can say the least. Obviously, he's at 11 spot, and of course, with the number 14, you do have the likes of Tuli Vulu, who's done very well within that 14 spot. So hopefully he can continue his form really within that position. And yeah, for the last position, obviously they had gone with the likes of Murray Valu. So he's another great player. I think he really stood out for the Fijians within the last game. So hopefully he's able to continue his form. But yeah, other than that, it's kind of with both lineups. If I'd actually say who actually wins this game, I actually think I want to say Fiji, but at the same time, the All Blacks are just too strong. So for that reason, I have to go with the All Blacks. I don't think it will be as high scoring, to be perfectly honest, as the last one, but I do think the All Blacks will dominate most of the game. So for that reason, I say they'll win this game. I'll say 42 points to 15. Yeah, I'll say 42 points to 15 is my final prediction for this game. Yeah, other than that, just hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.